With more sensory overload than any casino and gameplay faster than Mario Kart on 200cc, this is a series that's going to grab your attention whether you want it to or not. Throw out everything you know about racing games and lock in, because it's about to get fast. Fast is actually a series of racing games developed by Shin'en exclusively for Nintendo consoles since the Wii. If you're like me and weren't a big Nintendo fan back in the day, you might not even know what the series is. Even with the release of Fast RMX as a launch title for the Switch, it was still a game that I chose to overlook. But when I saw how good Fast Fusion looked as a Switch 2 launch title, I couldn't ignore the series any longer. Considering that the Fast series has been a graphical showcase for what Nintendo consoles are capable of, I felt like it was only appropriate to not only give my Switch a proper send-off with this game, but also see where its next iteration takes the series. Others have compared Fast RMX to F-Zero, but since I've never played that, I'm gonna say it's more similar to the Wipeout series. The games, not the TV show. You have an array of pod racer-like hovercrafts to select from and a sequence of futuristic roller coaster-style tracks you'll race through. The futuristic aesthetic clashes with the realistic-looking landscapes, while its vehicles sport a number of fictional companies and sponsors, similar to what Ridge Racer was doing in some cases. It's a style that you'll probably either love or be completely turned off by, but I really like it.
Only 2 laps to go!
Fast RMX's gameplay is deceptively simple. It's really easy to watch gameplay and write this off as an on-rails experience where you slightly turn here and there, but I wouldn't write it off that quickly until you've actually played it. Unlike every other racing game that I've played that uses vehicles with wheels, the vehicles in RMX are speedboats for the air. You turn corners a bit like you'd expect in a racing game, but you also have to lean left to right to shift your weight in the direction that you want to go. Kind of like a motorcycle without wheels. You have a little game of Simon that you play by changing colors to activate specific ramps and speedboat triggers,
and you'll grab boost pickups throughout the race.
I feel like there's a meta game to this boost system. You can either save them to fill up your boost meter or boost directly into them to chain the speed boost together. You don't gotta worry about braking too much in this game, which is good, because if you watch me play Need for Speed Underground, you know I don't like braking. But that's pretty much all you need to know about the controls, but like I said, it's deceptively simple. When I first started playing, I was banging all over the guardrails like I was playing a pinball game. And that's not even taking the map hazards into account, like gap jumps, robots, meteors, and fans that'll blow you off the map. Boost can also be used to knock back your opponents, so cruising side by side or slamming into them isn't really a great idea. The gameplay in RMX is simple, but it's a great foundation that's amplified by its progression. The tournament modes gives you 3 maps that you'll play through in a similar fashion to other racing games. Depending on where you place in each race, you'll earn points to be tallied up at the end of the tournament. Tournaments that I didn't win a lot of. After the end of each tournament, you're delivered new maps and a new vehicle, giving the first hour of the game a consistent stream of things to earn.
New machine unlocked! Vulcan Capital.
Even once you unlock everything, you unlock 2 more game modes that speed up the levels, similar to Mario Kart CC mode. You don't have to worry about jumping into those levels too quickly though, because you'll probably be spending a good amount of time learning the tracks and getting used to how they play at the slower speed. Each track plays a little bit differently, bringing with it different hazards and layouts that'll test your muscle memory. These tracks look great, offering a lot of verticality and weather effects to go along with them. I don't know how intentional this was, but I found the effects to be more than just for show. Heavy rain makes my vehicle feel like it's getting bogged down, and desert winds make me feel like I could get blown off the track at any time.
It's the final
RMX feels like an arcade game with the way it's constantly throwing things at you to feed your dopamine receptors, and I love it. The sense of speed is ridiculously fast, the art direction is strikingly interesting, and the sound design is fantastic. Playing catchy electronic music behind the loud outburst from the game announcer that brings that arcade-style experience all together.
You reached first place!
Once you've seen everything there is to experience with the tournament mode, there's also your standard time attack and multiplayer modes, even featuring online play. I tried to play online and I found one guy who decided to leave when he hit an obstacle. The impressive visuals, buttery smooth frame rate, and addicting pickup and play style of RMX makes it clear that it's a unique game worthy of a sequel. But the real question is whether or not that sequel lives up to its predecessor.
Fast Fusion.
In the running to be the most overlooked Switch 2 exclusive, we have Fast Fusion as a Switch 2 launch title. The format is the same as its predecessor with a few notable changes. When I first saw the flashing Fusion shop text on the main menu, my heart dropped a little, to be honest with you. But it turns out that it was just for purchasing new machines with coins that you earn from racing. Now you have something that you can earn from the time trial and superhero modes that I'm still not very good at. You mostly get coins from winning tournaments, those of which you'll use to unlock the next tournament in the series. The first thing I noticed about Fast Fusion is that it's really fun to play. The controls feel notably more responsive, and I didn't find myself fumbling into walls nearly as much as I did in RMX. Maps still have multiple paths and plenty of room to maneuver them. Fusion also adds a jump button this time around that you'll use to access some of these paths and grab boost coins that are floating in the air. Otherwise, the gameplay is pretty similar to the previous games. The first tournament that you play has wide tracks that ease you into the game, but as you progress, the roads get more narrow and the track hazards get even more aggressive. Nincho Crater in particular is very intense with continuous color shifting and hazards to knock you out. You have a track in just about every biome possible, and they all look fantastic with a fun layout. My only gripe about the map selection is how small it is. Going from the 36 tracks you get in RMX down to 12 in Fusion is a very noticeable difference, especially when you went from earning tracks in every tournament to replaying tournaments to earn enough credits for the next one. That being said, Shin'en has stated that a free content update is coming, so that'll be something to look forward to. An option for tracks in reverse or even at different times of day would be pretty cool, but I can't complain too much.
You reached first place!
Another cool feature that I'll add to my wish list is a custom track builder, because I think that'd be really cool in this game. When it comes to the visuals and performance, things get a little interesting when we look at the options. You probably picked up on it by now, but I think Fast Fusion is a damn good looking game. The game is set to performance mode by default, but offers a quality mode that runs at 4K with static shadows, as well as a balanced mode at 1440p. But to be honest, I couldn't even tell a difference outside of the lack of shadows in the post-game screen. I'm not sure if they're using DLSS to upscale the game to 4K when using its performance mode, but the visuals look great regardless. Textures are sharp and full of detail, the lighting brings the levels to life, and that art style from RMX has been taken to the next level with even more detailed environments. If you're looking for something a little bit different and graphically impressive on the Switch 2, Fast Fusion is definitely a visual treat with buttery smooth performance. The only problem I really encountered while playing was on this map Vanilla Haze, because the camera went damn near upside down with how often the camera shifted its angle. But otherwise, Fast Fusion is a damn near flawless experience that never lets up on the momentum. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles of your typical game. There isn't a gripping narrative or a lengthy progression system, but maybe it doesn't need that. It's a simple game that anyone can pick up and play, and sometimes that's all you want from a game. And for $15 with free content on the way in an industry that's getting progressively more reliant on overblown budgets and microtransactions, it's honestly a breath of fresh air. There's so much talk in the air about how games are getting more expensive and how these corporations are trying to rip you off that I feel like these nice budget games get lost in the shuffle. So when these games actually come out and they are really good, I think we should support them. Just like the channel members that support my videos. Shout out to Joking Vom, Exeat, Scott, and Not a Clown 2 for your support as always. I'm trying to think of bonus content that I can incorporate for channel members, so if you have any ideas of what I should do for that, let me know. Or if you have any ideas for some other budget titles that I should take a look at that a lot of people aren't talking about, let me know. If you're in the market for a simple, fun, and graphically impressive racing game, this one should be on your list. But if you want to take a look at some cheap games that aren't any good, you can watch my Switch 2 shovelware video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It's been T Josh. We out, baby. I gotta go play Mario Kart. I've had my Switch 2 days and I haven't even touched it. But the real question is whether or not that sequel lives up to its predecessor, which I'll tell you all about in a few hours when I get a Switch 2. But you won't see this part because it's in editing and I'm gonna cut it out.